Comfort never arrives wearing the face of an enemy. It doesn't demand your dreams or force you to surrender your future. Instead, it whispers softly, "You've worked hard today. Start tomorrow." It speaks with kindness, patience, and understanding until one tomorrow quietly becomes another. Before long, weeks become years, and the life you imagined slowly fades. Not because you failed, but because comfort convinced you there was always more time. Imagine walking into a beautiful room. The chair is soft, the fire is warm, and every distraction is waiting to entertain you. Nothing feels dangerous. In fact, everything feels safe. Yet the windows are locked, the doors are sealed, and without realizing it, you've stepped into a prison. The most dangerous cages are rarely built from iron. They're built from comfort, routine, and the belief that staying where you are is good enough. Every dream demands a price. Sometimes that price is early mornings. Sometimes it's discipline when nobody is watching. Sometimes it's choosing temporary discomfort instead of temporary pleasure. Comfort asks you to avoid that price. It offers an easier path, but every shortcut it promises quietly steals something far more valuable: your potential. You rarely notice it disappearing because comfort takes only a little each day. Return to the forge. The fire burns with the same intensity it always has. But today the apprentice doesn't step forward. He stays just outside the heat where it feels safer. Day after day he watches others shape steel while his own hammer gathers dust. It isn't fear that keeps him away anymore. It's comfort. The forge has not rejected him. He has simply stopped walking toward it. Comfort is patient. It doesn't need to defeat you today. It simply needs you to believe there will always be another chance. One more hour in bed, one more episode, one more excuse, one more delay. By itself, none of these decisions seems important, but together they quietly become a lifetime of opportunities that were never taken. The tragedy is that comfort often disguises itself as self-care. Rest is necessary. Recovery is important. But there is a difference between recovering your strength and escaping your responsibility. One prepares you for tomorrow. The other keeps postponing tomorrow forever. Wisdom is knowing the difference because they often look exactly the same from the outside. If Chapter 1 asks you to make one promise, Chapter 2 asks a different question. What keeps stealing that promise after you've made it? The answer isn't always fear. It isn't always failure. More often than not, it is comfort. The quiet voice that asks for one more delay while your future patiently waits for you to begin. The greatest dreams are rarely stolen in a single moment. They disappear one comfortable decision at a time. The extra hour of sleep, the workout skipped because tomorrow feels easier, the book left unopened, the business never started. These choices seem harmless on their own, but together they quietly shape a future you never intended to create. Every small surrender teaches comfort that it can ask for just a little more tomorrow. Time has a strange way of deceiving us. When we're young, tomorrow feels endless. We believe there will always be another Monday, another new year, another perfect opportunity to begin. But life never pauses while we prepare. Every sunrise arrives whether we're ready or not, and every sunset carries away a day we can never reclaim. One day, You realize that later has become years, and years have become a lifetime. Return once more to the forge. The apprentice walks past the glowing fire each morning, promising himself that today will be the day he finally begins. Yet instead of picking up the hammer, he watches the flames from a distance. The forge remains warm. The tools remain ready. Nothing has changed except the stories he tells himself. The longer he waits, the heavier the hammer feels before he has even lifted it. Comfort has one weapon that makes it so dangerous. It never asks you to quit forever. It only asks you to wait one more day. It whispers that missing today won't matter, that one decision cannot possibly change your future. Yet life is never built on one decision. It is built on thousands of them. Every not today quietly becomes the foundation of a life filled with what if. Imagine standing at the foot of a mountain. The summit disappears into the clouds, making the journey seem impossible. Comfort tells you not to climb because the first step feels too small to matter. But every person who has ever reached the top began exactly where you are now. They did not conquer the mountain in one day. They simply refused to let comfort convince them that standing still was safer than moving forward. There comes a moment when the cost of staying comfortable becomes greater than the discomfort of changing. It is the day you look in the mirror and realize you have been surviving instead of living. The dreams that once excited you now feel distant, not because they became impossible, but because comfort slowly convinced you to stop chasing them. That realization hurts, but it can also become the spark that changes everything. The forge has never closed its doors. The fire has never gone out. Your purpose has never stopped waiting for you. The only thing standing between the life you have and the life you could build is the decision to leave the comfortable chair behind. The first step will feel uncomfortable. The second will feel easier. And one day, you'll wonder why you waited so long to begin. Sooner or later, life places every person at a crossroads. One path feels familiar, safe, and comfortable. The other is uncertain, demanding, and filled with challenges. Most people believe the difficult road is dangerous, but the greater danger is spending years walking the easy path only to discover it never led anywhere worth going. Every meaningful life begins the moment comfort loses its vote. Picture the apprentice standing before the forge once again. The fire burns exactly as it did yesterday. The hammer still rests upon the anvil. Nothing in the workshop has changed. The only difference is the decision within his heart. For the first time, he understands that the forge was never asking him to be perfect. It was only asking him to step forward. Growth has always belonged to those willing to leave comfort behind. Think about every person you admire, every inventor, athlete, artist, entrepreneur, and leader. None of them escaped discomfort. They embraced it. They chose early mornings over sleeping in, practice over excuses, learning over distraction, and progress over convenience. Their success wasn't built because they enjoyed hardship. It was built because they understood that comfort could never take them where purpose was calling. One day, You'll look back on this season of your life. You won't remember the nights you stayed comfortable. You won't remember the hours spent avoiding difficult decisions. You'll remember the day you finally stood up, the day you decided your future deserved more than another excuse. That single decision may seem small today, but years from now, you'll realize it quietly changed everything that followed. Comfort will return tomorrow. It always does. It will speak with the same gentle voice, offering easier choices and promising there will always be another chance. Don't hate that voice. Recognize it. Smile at it. Then keep walking. Courage isn't the absence of comfort's invitation. Courage is hearing it clearly and choosing your purpose anyway. Every step away from comfort is another step toward the life you were created to build. Today, don't ask yourself whether the journey will be difficult. It will. Instead, ask yourself a better question. Will the pain of discipline be greater than the pain of regret? One lasts for a moment. The other can last a lifetime. Every sunrise gives you the same opportunity to remain where you are or become someone your future self will quietly thank. The decision has always belonged to you. The apprentice reaches for the hammer. This time, he doesn't hesitate. The warmth of the forge replaces the comfort of standing still. The first strike echoes through the workshop, louder than fear, louder than excuses, louder than every delay that came before. In that single moment, comfort loses its hold, not because it disappeared, but because purpose became stronger. As the sparks rise into the darkness, one truth remains. Comfort never builds legends. Courage does. Keep forging. Your story isn't finished.